Siomra Beag.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the tiny room. Welcome back to On Siomra Beag. I am the Michael of Michaelandbenjaminspodcast, and I am joined by the man who just this week it was announced that he was getting his own solo series on Disney Plus. It's Ben. Say hello, Ben.
Hello, Ben. That's what it's called.
Hello, Ben.
Yeah.
I'd watch it.
Yeah,
A couple of episodes.
I wouldn't.
Probably like a male Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah, kind of. Lizzie McGuire's getting a reboot, Michael,
Not a reboot.
or a movie, a new movie.
No, a new series, but a continuation
Good for her.
with what's her face, the original lady,
Lizzie, not Lizzie McGuire.
Hilary Duff.
Hilary Duff. Hillduff. H. Duff.
Let's get back on topic.
Theme music for the podcast. We don't actually have anything music.
Pretty good, Ben. I'm going to have a little sip of my coffee now, so you'll pardon the mouth sounds. Very popular.
Sorry.
A very popular aspect of many podcasts is the unedited mouth sounds. Benjamin,
Yes.
it's been a hell of a week.
It's been a busy one now.
I've hurt my back.
You have.
You've had a little haircut.
Yes, I have.
See, I noticed. But there was a bloody D23. But Ben, I thought we might start with a conceit.
Go. Let's do it.
And I thought that we might start with a conceit of Ben. I know that you know that something has been happening in the world of Spider-Man.
Yes.
So I thought what we might do is, in the style of a Whispery Murder podcast, we might treat the Spider-Man Sony Marvel debacle like a Whispery Murder podcast might.
Is this to boost listenership again?
Yeah. Get those listeners.
Get those sweet
listeners.
true crime fans.
So Ben, you do like a low tone, maybe an impactful intro music, like something like dun dun, but do it better than that.
Tom Holland was a plucky young man from England town. He found his dream and a family that cared. He brought one of the most beloved characters from Marvel's expansive universe to life. Everything was perfect until Sony.
You've done a movie trailer voice.
Is that not what you wanted to
Not
say?
a whispery.
What would you like?
I thought we would do something like this. Okay, wait, hold on.
You do yours.
No, hold on. You see, I don't listen to Whispery Murder podcasts. What
Why?
my good lady friend does. I think it's something more like this. Monday, 19th of August 2019. Tom Holland is living an idyllic life as Spider-Man. The news breaks at 4:15. The deal between Sony and Marvel has ended. Monday, August 19th, 6 p.m. Tom Holland is travelling home from work when he notices a tweet. But to be honest, Ben, I thought that would be pretty funny if we did that for the whole thing. But then I thought, I'd have to script the whole thing.
Yes, that'd take a long time.
Can't be bothered.
That'd take a long time.
Ben, do you feel, as I feel, that this whole thing is a storm in a teacup?
It is definitely a storm in a teacup. They will eventually reach a deal to bring it all back.
They'll bring it.
Yeah, there's no way Sony thinks they can carry this without. They're not that stupid.
No, I disagree with you on that one. I think they can carry it without Marvel.
Weird.
Because, and there's one key word to this, and I think this is the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Venom.
Is it enough?
Venom made almost or just about $1 billion.
That's disgusting.
It is, isn't it? It was not a good a film.
No, it wasn't.
But
We can say that comfortably outside of that window now.
But
Not
people
a good
went to
film.
see it. And that, no doubt, bolstered Sony. However,
They grew a pair as they went along.
yeah, they've got the hardened balls now.
Yes. Okay. Profit balls.
Yeah. But I think the thing's filled with cream with chocolate on the top. And that's profiteroles.
Profiteroles.
What I was saying was, though, Ben, it's all corporate wrangling, isn't it? It's just corporate wrangling.
I'm just enjoying the war of PR that's going on, where it's like,
It's
well,
Marvel's fault.
Kevin Feige we understand that Kevin didn't want to continue the project, and everyone's looking at you going, Kevin Feige wants to continue that project. There's no way Kevin Feige was the driving force behind doing that. But you're just going to have a lot of that. Your soundproof is going to fall down behind me there in a few minutes.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
so
looking
it
forward
is.
to it.
We'll just wait for that.
I'll get it now.
Inevitable
It'll be
thump.
very exciting.
Benjamin,
Yes.
it's our soundproofing, remember?
Aww.
Your little face. Yeah, it's all just corporate dick swinging, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's dick swinging.
The funny thing that I thought about this, Ben, was that for some reason this made it into the mainstream news cycle.
Just because Tom Holland's so popular. He's such a popular boy.
And I suppose it's nice and dramatic. Spider-Man exits the MCU.
Yeah. It's good. It's eye-catching because it's the most recent of the Marvel films that we've seen.
And they did all of that, building him up to be the new lead, replacing Iron Man.
Yeah, so it was all for now. All for now.
I'm not worried.
No, it's going to come back. Interestingly, though, to add to the drama,
Go on.
all the main cast members have unfollowed Sony on Twitter.
I wasn't... Oh, hold on.
I don't know what's happening.
Tuesday, 22nd, 9 a.m. Tom Holland unfollows Sony on Twitter.
Yeah, so him and Zendaya.
Tuesday, 9 a.m. Zendaya follows Tom Holland's lead in unfollowing Sony on Twitter. Sony reps do not offer a response.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's kind of what we needed, but not a direct Terminator ripoff. Anyway, yeah, look, Ben, it's a bloody storm in a teacup. They'll get him back or they won't get him back and things will carry on.
Yeah, it's not like it actually matters.
No, it doesn't matter. And, you know, the bloody MCU, Ben, has become so expansive now. It has become its own corner of entertainment, not just
big
popular
corner
culture.
too. It's
Huge,
a big fuck off corner.
Chunk. It doesn't feel as earth shattering as the excitement of when. And Ben, you know that in the past I would talk someone's ears off about which movie studios had the rights to which characters and why we would never see an MCU.
But we live in a post-Disney merger world.
Exactly.
Where Disney owns everything.
Disney owns everything. I think Disney owns this podcast.
I gave it to them last week.
Through a series of shell corporations.
Yeah.
And offshore accounts.
I'm getting all the money though.
Sweet.
But I'll throw you a little bit.
Thanks.
Here and there.
Appreciate it. Benjamin, bloody James Bond has a new trailer. No, not a new trailer.
No, not a new trailer.
Today is a good day to die.
It had It's No Time to Die is the name of the new James Bond film.
I think it's Today is a good.
There was a very funny moment in the staff room of where we work, Michael.
Oh, we work together, yeah.
Where
sometimes I forget that.
So do I. Where in Ireland that would be a very Irish mammy phrase. It's like, I've just no time.
I've no time.
And so what we had is the return of Omni Man when it was just like, I've no time.
I've no time to die.
I've no time to die. Just get out of my face. I want a cup of tea. I want to sit down for 5 minutes. Just leave me be.
Yes, they're going to have to do it is their fucking selves because I've no time to die.
Look, if you want to go off and die, Sharon, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I've no time.
I've no time to that. I'm to go down to the Yamini.
I've shopping to do.
I've
shopping to do, Sharon.
I have to go down to the Yamini, Sharon, and I have to get a bleeding load of eggs. So I've no time to die.
So it's Daniel Craig versus some Dublin Huns.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. No, it's I think it's probably gonna be the last one that Daniel Craig does, isn't it?
Ben, I haven't enjoyed a Bond film since I saw Casino Royale in a cinema. I'm doing air quotes.
Okay.
I'm not doing air quotes.
Which cinema did you?
A cinema, Ben, in inverted commas, in Vietnam.
Oh, no, I don't know if that's real.
There were 8 seats in it, and it was someone's living room.
Great.
Yeah, it was cool. But that was the last time I enjoyed a James Bond film. I'm not a big James Bond fan, Ben.
That's okay. It's a lot of chauvinism. There's a lot of not
I'm a fan of chauvinism.
You are, but you're a fan of it from a critical point of view, Michael. I don't know if you're actually much of a chauvinist. Now, me.
Oh. Bloody, don't get me started.
We don't have time to start on that. But if you want to tune into my new podcast, Who Needs Them? It'll be great. It's over here on the show.
Holy moly. I like that name though. Who needs
Who
him?
needs him? It's good, isn't it?
Because I mean, it doesn't say who you're specifically talking about.
Very marketable.
Yeah, chauvinist.
Yeah, chauvinist.
You should be on Fox.
There probably will be if the merger goes through.
The merger.
But yeah, so it's set in Jamaica, Michael, and that's significant for a number of reasons because that's where James Bond started, Michael.
Oh yeah,
with Dr. Neil.
Doctor.
It's Dr. No. It's Dr. No, a little Irish joke there. It was a joke for an audience of one, ladies and gentlemen, but I got a little giggle, so I'm happy. Yeah, so it's back in Jamaica, and it looks like it's going to be very neon-y, very, very bright. The only teaser that we have is a behind-the-scenes kind of look at what'll be going on. It looks very interesting.
Daniel Craig hasn't wanted to do one of these since about 2012.
No, but it's a hefty amount of money, and he's very good at it.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to.
Nah, he doesn't want to do any film he's in, though.
Do you think so?
Oh, look at him. He's just not happy.
Did he not enjoy... He enjoyed that one about the brothers who were hillbillies doing a crime.
Oh, that was good. That was Logan Lucky.
Logan Lucky or Hillbilly Brothers doing a crime.
It was great. I really enjoyed that.
He was good in that.
He was a great L character in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe if you give him a hillbilly accent. James Bond with a hillbilly accent.
You're like, yeah, boy.
I'll take it shaken, not stirred. Thank you.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Ben, Disney D23. We
Yes.
didn't realise it was on, and then there was a lot of news.
Yeah,
and
it
we
just
went,
exploded and was like, oh.
for goddamn.
Such significance.
We should probably talk about this.
Yes. So now we will.
Let's bloody do it. Benjamin, they've announced some new shows. Let's start in order of least interest with Ms. Marvel.
Yeah. Ms. Marvel is an odd one to bring in, isn't it?
Well, is it?
Is it?
Well,
Wow.
Miss Marvel is, and Ben, I don't really want to get into this, but Miss Marvel is Disney Marvel's shining example of representation and diversity.
Well, it's a diversity hire, Michael. It was a diversity comic. No, but it's probably going to be their youngest demographic. I think they're looking to Disney Channel, some Marvel heroes, and
What has become of the one that they were going to do with Squirrel Girl and as a kind of half-hour sitcom?
it died a death because
Did it?
Squirrel Girl lost her popularity out of nowhere.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a shame.
the air fell out of those wings.
Oh no, but squirrels don't have wings, famously.
Flying squirrels do.
They don't. They have flaps of skin between their legs that they can extend out.
Well,
They're
you
not
know what they
wings.
say, Michael. Once the wind gets out of your flaps, that's it. Game over.
Jesus Christ. Who needs them? Welcome to the new podcast by Ben Collins.
It's a good name for a chauvinist podcast.
It is. It's a very good name.
It's a shame that we couldn't come up with something more catchy when we actually named our podcast.
This is a great name, Michaelandbenjamin's podcast. Very
You
descriptive.
just like it because your name is first.
Yeah. Benjamin and Michael's podcast. No one would listen to that.
No one listened to that mess of a show. But yeah, so Miss Marvel,
Yeah, I don't really care.
interesting diversity hire. Interesting to see how they're going to handle all that, because in the comics they sometimes talk about her religion and how she deals with that as a super person. Don't think Disney's going to touch that.
I think they will.
Do you?
Yeah, I think
Really?
they're going to really lean into the whole first Muslim superhero lady teenager.
Well, good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them. That's important.
Look, Ben, everyone knows I'm going to bloody watch the thing.
You're going to watch
So,
them all, Michael.
I'm
I'm
gonna
not
watch
watching
them all. You're gonna watch them.
I've chauvinist podcaster.
them. There is one you're definitely going to watch, Ben. She-Hulk.
Yeah, probably.
That'll probably be good.
Apparently, Kevin Feige is very proud of this one. He's like, it's not like anything we've ever done. It's completely different. So
I can't imagine they're much beyond the pitch stage at this point.
No, but I'd be interested to see it. Do you think it'd be like a crime procedural? Because those that don't know,
Yeah.
Jennifer Banner is the cousin of Bruce. It's not Banner, is it?
Jennifer Walters.
Jennifer Walters. You're absolutely right. Jennifer Walters is the cousin of Bruce Banner, and she got herself some She-Hulk powers.
Some Hulk blood.
Yeah, she got some Hulk blood, and she's big buff lady.
She's a big buff lady, and she can be a lawyer.
But she's also a lawyer, so I think we could see some interesting like crime room drama-y stuff.
Crime room drama, yeah.
Crime room
The
drama-y
famous,
stuff.
The famous genre, crime room drama.
Yeah, crime room drama. Courtroom drama is what I meant to say, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies. Crime room drama. The new podcast from Michael
like
Benjamin's podcast. Airing Tuesdays after Who Needs Him.
I can hear a listener stopping every time you say that.
Sorry, it's a joke. It's not intentional. Mick won't let me have my own podcast.
No, he's not allowed. He's not allowed in the room on his own. He'd wreck the place.
But I'd say it'd be interesting. It could be fun.
Do you think it will be as meta-referential as She-Hulk sometimes is in
I
the
think it
comic
almost
books?
has to be, doesn't it?
Does it?
I don't
Do you
know.
think she'll...
Well,
Do you think she'll come up against Matt Murdock?
no. Matt Murdock's gone.
You think so? It'll be 2022 and the Netflix
They'll have.
will have passed. Do you think they'll recast them? I don't know. I can see that could be the big excitement twist
What a
of
twist.
Yeah, 2022. The Netflix rights have.
Are we thinking
really-
that far ahead now?
Oh yeah, these are all 2022.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
God. I hope I'm alive to see it. I mean,
Oh Jesus Christ!
if God spares me. If God spares me. Listen, I've no time to die, Michael.
No time to die.
no time
No
to
time
die.
for it at all. I'm down the Omni
We've
getting
series
the
to
eggs.
watch. Yeah, so She-Hulk. What else? What else,
And
Michael?
bloody Ben, the most exciting one for us, Ben.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah,
2 years ago.
Loki, the series.
Yeah, there's so many false
Yeah,
leads
I've done-
today. He's snaring me again and again. It's alternate Loki, though.
Yeah,
It's not our
I
Loki.
don't like an alternate universe story.
There's no need.
No,
Give us back Hiddleston.
no, it is Hiddleston.
I know, but it's not our Hiddleston.
Well, it is.
Alternate universe Hiddleston.
No, it's the same Tom Hiddleston. He's playing
Oh.
alternate universe as Loki.
They didn't get another Tom Hiddleston.
No.
You
They
sure?
They don't have the technology yet.
But Tom Hiddleston died in Infinity War.
No, you've gotten mixed up between real life and films again, Ben.
No, the big purple guy came along.
No, he was not real, Ben. That was a film.
But then who's balancing the universe?
That was a film. That sexual harassment thing, real life.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's much worse.
Yeah.
Oh. Bad eggs.
2 years ago, Ben.
Right. What Mick is actually referring to 2 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, I was stuck on public transport.
2.5 years ago.
2.5. Oh my God, 2.5 years. I was stuck on public transport.
Mm-hmm.
And Mick found out that I write occasionally little essays about pop culture things.
Little essay. There's a little essay.
And he turned around to me and he goes, podcast?
Hashtag burning paper tigers.
Yeah, exactly. He turns around and he says, podcast? And I was like, yeah, grand, so. I happen to have a microphone. And we started a podcast. And our very first episode, ladies and gentlemen.
First 2 episodes.
It was a 2-parter. We don't do those anymore, thank God for that.
It
It was too much effort. But our very first ever episode, which went wrong a million ways, was all about Moon Knight, the TV series.
Moon Knight, the TV series,
How
Ben.
we
We were
pitch it.
way ahead of our time.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
this very week,
Yes.
it has been announced that there will be a Moon Knight TV series. So Michael and I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for your loyal listenership, but we're done. We're out.
We're wrapping up.
We've
achieved our goal.
Calling it a day. We have
I
a
think-
Moon Knight series.
I think we have to keep going, Ben, until it actually appears.
Shit.
Because they did promise us an Inhumans movie.
And boy, oh boy.
That didn't happen. They've never done anything at all with the Inhumans. So
Nothing ever happened with the
Nothing ever
Inhumans.
happened with the Inhumans. They're still sitting on the shelf somewhere, waiting for their opportunity to be in something.
And that definitely is real life and not a
Not
thing.
just fantasy. Benjamin,
Yes.
it will be interesting to see how close to our little pitch of Moon Knight that...
I'm just saying I've gotten us a lawyer.
We don't own any of the rights to the character.
But we have intellectual rights to being fucking fair class screenwriters, though.
Oh, yeah. Look, if
That was a
Ben...
great pitch, Michael.
It was a very good pitch.
It was a great pitch
People
from you.
should go back and listen to it. You'll have to excuse the audio quality,
It's
obviously, because we were
shocking.
bloody beginners. But I still think it stands up as an interesting pitch.
It does.
I don't know if... I don't know. They might go that route.
Good pitch.
Although, like, it's hard for me to think of another way to do Moon Knight because we spent so long talking about that way of doing Moon Knight.
It did burn into our brains.
We did it. We talked about Moon Knight, Ben, as a kind of combination of the Mr. Knight run, but also some psychedelic,
Some of the mad
asylum
elements.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was, I thought that was pretty good. That pitch we did, probably our best pitch.
Probably.
We should, I think, when Moon Knight the TV series comes out, we should re-listen to those 2 episodes of the podcast a week or 2 before,
And then live tweet it.
and then do a bloody live tweet and go, we said that,
Got it. Nailed it.
got it in one.
Yeah.
And then if Warren Ellis says, actually, guys, that was my idea, we'll go, shut up, Ellis.
Warren.
I will pull your long hair.
Why don't you go finish a comic book run?
Go finish
Huh?
it. Yeah, where's the
Huh?
end of Injection, you
Where's
son
the
of a
end of
bitch?
Injection, you son of a bitch? Declan's there waiting.
Bloody...
Poor
What else
Declan.
happened in D23?
I think one of the interesting things is that it's not going to be binge-watchable.
Yeah, they're going to do
They're
weekly.
to be weeklies.
Did you see the announcement today of the launch pattern?
No, I didn't.
It's launching in Canada, America, the Netherlands, Australia and New Zealand this November.
That's good news for us, though. We can just go over to the Netherlands.
The Netherlands, we can go over in the Netherlands and
It
maybe
saves-
ask them, hello, we're here in the Netherlands, can we watch some of your Disney Plus?
It's pretty good, actually. That may be the best accent you've ever pulled out in the pod
it's one,
spontaneously.
I think I've done Netherlands before, haven't I? What was the reason I did the Netherlands? I did a character who was from the Netherlands.
Yeah,
Who
like,
was it? I can't remember.
remember.
It was someone, but it was the
You've been
version.
practicing, though.
It was someone, but it was the version of that person from the Netherlands. But now I've forgotten who that person was from the Netherlands, so it doesn't matter.
It's pretty great.
Do you want to hear my other character I invented? It's
Oh,
a peacock. I'm a peacock. I'm a peacock. I've committed to it and I've knocked over some robots. I'm a peacock.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it from us. No. Yeah, so that happened. There were some other interesting things from D23. One of
these robots back up, Ben.
Yeah, that's not fair enough. Your OCD is going to wear you out. One of the things that I was very excited to watch, which I'm quite surprised about, Michael, because
You're not usually excited.
I'm not usually excited by anything. I'm dead inside, you see, Michael.
Yeah.
I'm not a peacock. And bloody Mandalorian trailer
The bloody Mandalorian, Ben.
looks bloody great.
Looks amazing, doesn't it?
I was so on board. First time I've ever watched a Star Wars thing and been like, fuck yeah.
I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was really... What a cast!
The cast is great.
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers is in it
Bloody Carl Weathers.
from The Predator.
Werner Herzog is in it.
Werner Herzog should be in everything, I
He
feel.
should, absolutely. Pedro Pascal is the Mandalorian, I think, which is quite cool.
Yes,
I love it. I love
yeah.
a Pedro Pascal.
You do.
Big fan. And then the guy from Breaking Bad, whose name I always forget.
It's Jesse Pinkman.
No, although they're getting a movie too.
Pablo Escobar.
No. You're mixing up your franchises now, Michael. No, Gustavo from
Yeah, I can't remember
Breaking
the actor's
Bad.
name,
Can't
unfortunately.
remember his name. That's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway, he's in it.
Yeah.
He's in it. He was also in Amazon Prime's The Boys. He's the big boss upstairs.
Oh, he was.
He's the
Yeah, he was
upstairs
very
boss.
briefly, yeah.
But he's going to be in it. Looks pretty good.
It looks
Michael.
very good, Ben. It looks like Star Wars for the grown.
It's a Western.
Yeah, it's a kind of Star Wars Western bounty hunters.
There's a callback bounty hunter droid from the original Star Wars movie. His little
IG-88.
sidekick there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Shane's gonna be delighted.
Well, Shane doesn't like a Star Wars.
But he might like this. This is a Western Star Wars.
Not a bloody lightsaber in sight.
Bloody Western. Yeah, there's no lightsabers. Isn't that great?
No lightsabers. It looks like a man gets chopped in half by a door.
Which I'm okay with, in a very cool scene.
In my opinion, Ben, very poor door design.
Yeah, it's probably not great, is it? There's several things that are pretty
People would
poorly
get
designed.
sued.
Yeah, lightsabers though, very dangerous.
Well, that's why you need to be a Jedi to use them.
Oh yeah, of course. Unless
What's his name in Breaking Bad? I need to find out his name.
Jesse Pinkman.
No, you son of a bitch.
I don't know. Gustavo is what he's called. Yeah. Also, we're getting a Ewan McGregor standalone series apparently.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
Yeah, the internet does though.
Does it?
The internet cares a lot. He's kind of an internet darling. He's a bit of a
Giancarlo Esposito.
Thank you. He's a bit of a Keanu Reeves proto kind of thing.
I sense it. No, I'm doing the wrong voice.
I'm going the wrong way.
Yes, that's where it is. It's up there somewhere.
It's up there.
Hello.
This is very strange.
There's something wrong with the force, Matt. No, I don't know what I'm doing.
The records are cleared. That's not possible. Ewan McGregor.
Now imagine if he was from the Netherlands.
Yeah, so
I sense a disturbance in the Force Master.
look, maybe if we pitch it, it'll turn up on Disney Plus in 2 years, 2.5 years. But it looks very good. I'm very excited for it. Werner Herzog looks like he's going to do some classic kind of narration, kind of philosophical depth kind of
leaning
stuff.
back in that chair like an evil, sexy Hamlet.
He's so bizarre. He just pops up in the weirdest of things. I'm all for it though. Like, game on.
His ship looks like the bloody Firefly.
It does. Taika Waititi's guest directing an episode.
Taika Waititi is the voice of the robot.
Oh, I'm so in.
They have a real history now of doing famous, funny voice people for the robots.
I'm so in.
Look, I'm going to watch it. Ben.
I'm going to
watch all of it.
I am actually going to watch a Star Wars thing.
Try and stop me.
No,
You're not going to be able to. I'll shoot you with my grappling hook.
With the grappling hook, the one that you keep just for this occasion.
On my arm. Just
looks good, doesn't it? And I'm delighted that it's not the whole Jango Fett end of things.
Yeah, Jango Boba.
Yeah, I'll have less of that.
Although there are questions if Boba's going. Americans say Boba.
Yeah,
really
no,
upsets
it's
me.
Boba Fett.
Yeah,
it's 2 B's. Has to be Bob.
Yeah, Boba, not Boba.
Not
the
Boba.
B-O-B isn't Bob.
It's not a delicious tea from Asia.
I don't like bubble tea.
You don't?
No,
I don't either. I
don't
can't
like
drink it. I'm lactose intolerant. But like, it was important
I've seen you eat cheese.
for the listeners. You haven't.
I have. I've seen you eat a pizza.
Oh yeah.
There's cheese on a pizza.
It's really bad for me though.
Oh, gee, all farty.
Really bad for me. Yeah, but you can take the little lactose tablets now, Michael.
What are they?
Yeah, you see, you have to take them before eating,
Right.
and they basically give you the missing enzyme that you have, and you can
Lactase.
Yeah. So it gives you the little thing that you need to help your digestive system.
Oh.
Yeah.
And do you fart more or less then?
I don't know. I don't use them, but
You
you
know-
can get them.
Because you could have a bloody boba tea.
I could, but I'm not all that pushed. I don't know. Join us next week after our other 2 podcasts where we talk about bubble tea, yay or nay. But yeah, the Mandalorian looks bloody good.
Sorry,
the costume's very good, isn't it?
Yeah, you know who'll make a good costume of that? Friend of the podcast, Kieran.
Kieran, get on it.
He probably is already.
He probably is. Yeah, he's miles ahead of
He's
us.
probably losing sleep over it, going,
ahead.
look at the details.
Look at the details. He's very good at details, Kieran.
Yeah.
Check him out. What's his name on
Haramu cosplay, I think.
Harriman cosplay? Yeah,
I'm not gonna spell that for you.
he'll be grand.
He'll be alright.
He'll be grand. He'll be
alright.
Looking forward to it. Give us an interview when you have it done.
Yeah, we'll make a video series.
Kieran will see it then. But yeah, I'm tentatively excited for a Star Wars property, which is something I never thought I would say.
It is the most excited I've been for a Star Wars thing ever.
Yeah.
No, I'm wrong. I've lied. I was more excited for the Gendy Tartakovsky Clone Wars cartoon.
Yeah, that was great.
That was very good.
That was
I got
very
it on
good.
DVD, Ben.
Very good. There's a very
Very
good
exciting.
video essay out there on how he animated that and why it's so special and blah blah. It's very good.
It's very good.
It's very good. Very good.
Speaking of things that are very good, Ben, we had a tweet 2 weeks ago
Did we?
saying, I see that bloody Blade is entering the Marvel Universe.
He bloody is.
I'm bloody paraphrasing here because I've lost the tweet.
Professionalism.
It was Instagram, I think. I see that bloody Blade is entering the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And Ben, the question is, as the question always is, Who even is Blade in any ways?
So in this particular case, Blade is kind of Marvel's default vampire hunter.
Yeah,
he
hunts default vampires.
Default vampires, not like non-generic brand name vampires, but default vampires. The ones you get, the settings you get when you buy your phone.
Yeah.
So you have to set them up.
Yeah.
No, he's their go-to vampire hunter. Go-to is a similar breed to default.
You're really spinning your wheels on this one, aren't you?
But anyway, couple of things that are important about Blade.
Go on. What are the things?
In 1973.
1973. Times were different.
Times were different, as the representation of early Blade will make very apparent. This is going to be there will be many stereotypes in this breakdown of Blade. They're not my stereotypes.
No.
They're Marv Wolfman's stereotypes, because Marv Wolfman is the creator of Blade. In Tomb of Dracula, number 10, in 1973, we're introduced to...
I'm just going to stop you there, Ben. You're mispronouncing the word Dracula.
Sorry, Tomb of Dracula. Better?
That's better, yeah.
Okay, so in the Tomb of Dracula...
the famous Italian comic book.
The famous Italian comic book. I think it might be. I'm fairly certain there's a...
Tomb of Dracula.
Tomb of Dracula. Marv Wolfman came up with it. And at the time, Marv Wolfman was kind of the big horror guy.
Yeah.
Suitably for Marvel, because his name is Wolfman.
Is it really?
What a great name! Probably not. He also did the Doom Patrol. He was handed over to the Doom Patrol at one point for DC Comics. So we've covered him before on the podcast. But anyway, Marv gets his hands on it.
Yeah.
And he brings in as kind of a supporting character Blade.
Why?
Because they needed a bit more. So Marvel took this pitch of Tomb of Dracula and they wanted to make it all about Dracula. So Dracula had to be the central character every time that we took a look at it.
He was the antagonist.
He was the antagonist, and they built the series around him.
The protagonist?
It was this is the thing. And then I think Marvel went, oh wait, he's very evil. That's quite tough to write. And so they have the adventures of a kind of a merry band of vampire hunters.
Yeah. The Quincy's.
The Quincy's, yeah. Yes, the Quincy's. One of the interesting things about Dracula in that particular timeline is he's only 600 years old.
A whelp.
And he was a whelp by vampire standards. And he was given an ale curse by a gypsy.
Oh,
now,
can't call them that anymore.
Now, again, 1973.
1973.
Times they haven't changed.
Yeah.
Unless you're black and American, in which case times don't get to change.
Oh!
And it's very systematically against them. But
holy moly, Ben.
Initially, in those opening things, to say that his depiction was complicated would be unfair.
I thought it was very straightforward.
If Blade was to happen upon Dracula, you might hear something like, you blood-sucking jive turkey. You might hear something like that, which, not a very clean representation of the character as a whole. Very, very campy. Very campy. Blade originally had an afro. He wore sunglasses at night. Yeah. He wore an open vest, kind of rawhide green vest with some bell bottoms. Yeah. He was like a black hippie vampire slayer. Yeah, it was weird.
He was what Marv Wolfman himself described as Marvel Black.
Oh God,
Marvel Black
was that a thing?
That's what they called it. They called it. They didn't call it then. They do now. He was a Marvel Black character. He was in the vein of a Luke Cage.
Sweet Christmas.
Exactly. He's from the same period of the same style. He's based on the popularity of blaxploitation films.
Yes, they were huge at that time.
In the same sense that the modern era, Ben, will be remembered as the era of representation, the 70s were the era of exploitation.
Do you think we'll go back around?
Oh, yeah. No, the pop culture will always swing and follow trends. And at the moment, the trend is representation and diversity. But, something popular will happen and we'll all start following that then. Great. And that's what Marvel did. They had exploitative Asian characters, exploitative black characters,
Shang-Chi.
Exploitative kung fu characters. And they followed trends. And in the 70s, it was martial arts movies and Shaft.
Oh, Shaft. Did you see the new movie on Netflix?
I haven't seen it, no.
Great movie.
Is it?
It's completely ridiculous, but it's great.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just a real entertaining watch.
Blade has his origins in the same pop culture milieu as... Is that a word?
Milieu.
Yeah, thank you.
But you're pretty good.
Thank you. Dracula.
It
has its origins in the same pop culture milieu as Shaft.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
He's a street-talking 70s black guy.
He's a fast-talking, no jive turkey.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know where I'm going with that. I'm going to leave that one alone. Yeah. But he was born to Lucas and Tara Cross in his origin story. in his origin story, and they were part of a very unusual cult.
What?
In his origin story in the comics is he was born to two kind of cultists or members of an order.
It's not the comic I read.
Which one did you read?
I read the one where his mother was a prostitute and she was bitten by Deacon Frost.
Which one, though?
Tomb of Dracula, I thought.
It's been retconned.
Oh, everything's been retconned.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. No, originally you go with original.
Well,
original flavor.
Originally, he was but a normal man, essentially, but a man, but whose mother was bitten during pregnancy by a vampire, and that imbued in him one superpower, and one superpower alone,
which was
an immunity to becoming a vampire.
It's not great.
Pretty good if you're a vampire hunter, though.
Very useful in that.
Very, very useful. Yeah. Like it would be like being an AIDS researcher with an immunity to AIDS.
Quite handy.
Very
just
handy.
Get in there and muck around with the AIDS, no bother.
Getting stuck with the syringes, and you don't worry about it, guys.
That's your party trick.
Yeah. Watch this.
Whoa!
This. Hey!
Guess who doesn't have AIDS? This guy.
What are we talking about? So that was his original superpower.
Yeah, so that got mussed around a bit, and more traditional vampire characteristics were brought in through the retcons.
Right.
And then we introduced Lucas and Tara Cross.
I've never heard of these people.
Yeah,
what is this from?
This was from 2006.
Oh, the bad times.
The bad times, yeah.
Go on then.
But he basically, for some reason, his father is framed for a crime in the United States. His mother is sent to London town.
London town.
London town, innit?
Fucking Helen Mirren there.
Helen Mirren's there. And she's
the
like, all right, vampy boy. Oi.
Get those fangs away from me, you.
Yeah, you fucking long tooth fucking son of a bitch. Anyway, so this all happens. Unfortunately, she goes into labour while she's staying with this in a cat house. It's in a cat house. She's lying low in a cat house.
Yeah.
And then they call a doctor.
Oh, okay.
And the doctor comes along, but it's not a normal doctor. It's bloody Deacon Frost.
Oh, we are talking about the same origin. Go on then.
Yeah. Oh, we're talking about the same origin?
I think we are.
Good. It's bloody Deke Frost. Deke Frost.
Yeah,
and he's famously...
It's a great name, Deke Frost.
Famously portrayed by...
Stephen Dorff.
Thank you. In the Blade movies. And he only goes and has a munch of Blade's mum.
Yeah.
And while he's munching on Blade's mum,
yeah,
he transfers some of his vampire enzymes all over to little... What's his name?
Eric.
Eric, thank you. To little Eric, and then Blade... No.
Succinct, Ben.
Later on, I think one of the big things that happens is he meets a man called Jamal Afari, and Jamal Afari becomes his kind of vampire. His vampire hunting mentor.
Oh, yeah. The old Omni, is it? Yeah.
The Omni. And he meets him. And it's a really interesting thing because Jamal Afari is a pretty cool piece of representation. He's kind of an old London gentleman, but he's black. And it's interesting to have that. That's later changed a little bit for the movies. You get Whistler instead, and Whistler's kind of a stand-in paragon for Jamal Afari. There's
a whole lot of Blade that's a bit confusing. Is he English or not?
He was raised in England. He's
right.
American-born.
Yeah.
But I don't know...
He's sometimes English, but they kind of forget that he's English a lot of the time.
It wouldn't shock me if Marshall Ali plays him slightly British.
No, that wouldn't shock me either.
I'd quite enjoy a Cockney Blade running around sorting out vampires.
All right, boys.
Looks
like you're going to get stuck with these things in you.
Isn't it a bit late to be snacking, boys?
You can't. Oh, no, we can't say that word. That's the only word.
That's the only word Mick won't say.
Only word we don't say on the podcast.
But yeah, I'd quite enjoy Marshall Ali hopping around London going, "Oh, you've been a naughty boy."
No, when you see this pig sticker. Anyway,
settle down, love. It's not the one I mean. And then, back at it.
Yeah, I don't think Marshall Ali will play that.
Nah, probably not.
Ben
Idris Elba though, that'd be good.
Idris might have, but he won't be because it's Marshall Ali.
Shan't be.
Benjamin. You could even see there that Blade has gone through quite the history of retconning and etc. and changing. The funny thing about Blade, though, this is a funny thing that I've seen over the previous week that we've just experienced, Ben.
Timer.
A lot of people would say that Blade was basically a normal man who was with normal humans hunting Dracula.
Yes.
Then due to his popularity or the interestingness of the design or something, ended up crossing over into superhero territory.
He did.
Because Tomb of Dracula technically existed in the Marvel superhero world. Dracula exists in the Marvel superhero world, but he always kind of existed a bit separately.
Yeah, he's in his little corner.
The kind of
Marvel
Dracula
universe.
thing was in its own corner, and there weren't a lot of superheroes. Spider-Man wasn't swinging by weekly to help the vampire hunters find Dracula.
No.
But Blade, for some reason, transferred across.
He did.
And became a superhero rather than your run-of-the-mill vampire hunter with an immunity to vampires.
He actually got a serious boost through one of the comic book stories with Spider-Man.
Go on.
Well, then this is not leading on to your point. Your point is to come after this. But basically, the reason that Morbius is... the reason that Blade...
You've spent your own load
Yes,
there.
I did. The reason that Blade is sunlight-proof is because of Morbius, the living vampire, which is a classic Spider-Man villain.
Well, first of all, you're going to have to tell us who that is.
Morbius, the living vampire, is soon to be bloody Jared Leto in another ill-fated Sony film.
Yeah.
But also a scientist who decided to make his own version of the vampire serum, and he's technically more powerful than most vampires because he's genetically perfect. He has no aversion to sunlight or crosses or any of the traditional holy things. And when he's bloody up in a scrap against Spider-Man, he gets bitten by Morbius, and Blade gets an injection of brand new vampirism.
When did that happen?
That was, again, 2006, I think.
Here's the thing, right? A lot of people think that Blade was a normal human.
Yeah.
With an immunity to vampirism and a kind of mysterious, murky British-American past.
Yes.
Right? And then Wesley Snipes' Blade came along in 1998? Yes, it was 1998.
I trust you.
I've said it with a questioning intonation, but I watched it yesterday.
Yesterday?
So Wesley Snipes came along in the Blade film from 1998, Ben, which, let's face it, is an all-time action film classic.
It's great.
Ben, I watched it yesterday from start to finish.
Also, first black superhero representation, Black Panther, get out of here.
Did that come out before Spawn? When did Spawn come out?
Spawn, yeah.
Was
maybe.
Spawn 97 or 99?
But
I'm not
Spawn has
sure.
other problems.
Spawn has its own problems as
Yes.
well. When did Steel come out?
With Shaq?
Yeah.
Shaq Attack?
I'm just saying, Black Panther was far from the first black superhero.
Well, I don't think Marvel wants you to remember it that way.
No, they very much don't. Anyway, Ben, the Blade film that came out in 1998, very much dissociated from the comics. Blade took on a new look.
Yes.
He was all in black.
He became very stoic.
Very stoic.
Less of a jive turkey.
He said he has some amazing one-liners.
He does. They're very good.
Like some motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill.
Which is just a great line.
That is.
I think that's more Wesley Snipes than screenwriters
It was
would
pure
care
Wesley
to.
Snipes. Yeah. When one of the cops accidentally shoots him, what does he say? Motherfucker, are you serious?
It is very good.
It's a good film.
Stephen Dorff is very good as well.
Stephen Dorff is
great villain.
very menacing. Quite young now, looking back on it.
Yeah.
Because he's probably younger when that was made than I am now. So I was looking at him going, he's doing quite a good job of being intimidating despite being a skinny 28-year-old.
Yeah, a baby.
A wee little baby vampire man.
He's doing very well.
The rave scene from it was probably, I imagine, Ben. Anyway, look, the rave scene.
I couldn't wait to grow up when I saw that scene. I was like, is this what parties are like?
A very sexy Tracy Lord, who was famous for starring in underage porn films.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
She told producers she was 18 and she was 16, and it was all very murky. That's how she became famous.
Absolute chance for Tracy.
Oh, yeah. That's not her real name either.
Yeah.
Anyway, a very sexy Tracy Lord takes a man to an underground nightclub, which turns out to be a vampire party. Woo. Ben, that's how, upon watching that film, I imagine that's how you're going to go.
I'm going to die being led down a...
Some sexy Eastern European lady is going to lead you down an alleyway to a secret party, and they're going to sacrifice you.
Yeah. Yeah, I've no argument for
anyway,
that. I'm not entirely against it either. It sounds like a good time for the first 2 minutes.
To be honest, the rest of the film is pretty generic late 90s action movie stuff.
Yeah.
But that intro is what solidified Blade as a pop culture icon. The dance scene, that rave music has come to represent rave. If you want to put a rave in a film, you play that rave music from Blade, and people go, "Oh, it's a 90s rave."
Oh, I know this.
Oh, yes, it's a 90s rave. I've
Even
heard
even your granny goes,
Yeah, it's one of those raves, is it? They're probably having some of the LSD.
The LSD.
Or the acid. Was it
Shrooms.
acid? I don't know what they did in 90s raves.
Ecstasy.
I was 11. I wasn't, I was 14.
But he lied to a producer and got into a rave.
Yeah. Classic Tracy Lords. Anyway, after that, it becomes a pretty generic film after that
It's
about
supposed
vampires.
to. I mean, there's only so many things you can do. Like, there's the sciencey stuff is very funny. It's
It
like,
is.
I made you an anticoagulant. Oh, okay, perfect. I'll just...
Well, she's a blood doctor.
Yeah, I know. No, I get why she does it. She's a very unusual subplot, though, isn't she?
She is.
She's
Not a romance interest.
She's just no, not at all. Which is quite progressive in some forms.
In some ways, and she looks quite a lot like his mother, who's also in it.
I used to think when I originally watched it, I was like, "That's the same. How does that work? How did
No,
you not know that was his mother the whole time he's been helping?"
They're definitely different
But
actresses.
they're different actresses. Yeah.
It is weird that he falls in love with someone who's quite like his mother, but he doesn't fall in love with her. That's the point.
Well, he doesn't try to get off with her. I don't know if he doesn't fall in love with her.
One of the most important things in it that you learn is that Asian vampires are the best at martial arts,
Asian vampires are always the best at martial arts.
including, I think, some of the Asian vampires who later fought John Wick and kicked him through the glass. I think some of those guys fight Blade. Anyway, I can't even remember what the hell we're talking about.
I can't remember
How
what
have I
you're
gone
talking
down
about.
this route?
Don't know.
Blade in
Just-
that movie is Eric Brooks. He was bitten by, his mother was bitten by Deacon Frost when she was giving birth.
Whilst pregnant.
And he had to be C-sectioned out of her. And unlike Eric Brooks from the comics, he was born with the powers of a vampire.
Yes.
All of their strengths and none of their weaknesses.
Because he's kind of a prophesied kind of thing.
He's
and then
the
he gets
chosen one.
Gets a real cool name.
Whistler actually says to him on his deathbed, "It's you, Blade. They need your blood. You're the chosen one."
I love that. Nothing quite like a little bit of lazy writing. I really wish you hadn't touched my hand so gently when you said it as well.
I know,
It just
I'm
made me
I'm
very
the-
uncomfortable.
I'm the Whistler of the podcast.
You definitely are.
So anyway, Ben, he saves the day and he becomes... But that depiction of him with the kind of tight Wesley Snipes haircut, the tribal markings shaved into the hair, the motorbike, the vampire powers but none of their weaknesses, that became the defining Blade.
Default Blade.
And I would have said, Ben, that was what made the change. The movie was where that change occurred.
I think that's probably true.
But then this week, Ben, I watched 1994's Spider-Man the Animated Series.
What?
Where Spider-Man is chasing after Michael Morbius.
Yes, the living
The
vampire.
living vampire. Michael Morbius is not a vampire in the mystical sense. He has been created by recombinating his blood with vampire bat DNA.
Just like that.
He was trying to come up with a cure for mutagenics.
Look, it's your standard scientist gone awry Spider-Man villain.
It's called the Mutagenic Nightmare or something like that. It's like an 8-part plot.
Yeah, it's a whole little sub-series. Isn't
You've got Michael Morbius is in it, the Lizard, Kurt Connors is in it, Blade comes into it. But Blade in that has basically the origin story of the Wesley Snipes Blade, despite being 4 years earlier.
Oh.
But in this, he was the product of a white vampire man and a black lady who fall in love.
Predatory white male thing, is it?
No, you don't learn anything about his
doesn't lean
father.
into that,
Yeah,
okay.
no, but he's actually the child of a vampire, not
bitten.
not a sexually transmitted disease vampire.
Oh, that has some interesting implications, doesn't it?
But he says that in the movie.
Oh, okay.
In Blade, he
That
says,
would-
"You're a virus. You're a sexually transmitted disease." I don't remember who says it. I'm assuming it was Chris Christopherson because I'm doing my Chris Christopherson.
Could be
voice.
that. It's pretty good.
But yeah, he has a lot of the powers of the movie Blade, which I thought the movie Blade was a twist on Blade, but actually it doesn't seem like it was. Either the comic came up with it first, or the animated series twisted his origin to make him a bit more... And to be honest, Ben, I didn't have enough time to finish my research, and I don't know the answer. Maybe the listeners know.
Yes, listeners, if you know the answer to Blade's murky origin or transition from jive turkey over to actual human being,
Well, less of a human being.
well, less of a human being, but also more of a more beloved version of the character, I suppose.
A more interesting version of the
Yeah.
character, I suppose,
Absolutely.
as a half vampire.
As a half vampire. Yeah, let us know down below. How do you think Marshall Ali's going to play it?
I don't know. It's very interesting. I hope he doesn't play it like the cartoon. In the
He's a bit
cartoon,
aggressive in the cartoon.
he's a very shouty, aggressive. He's like, "We've got to kill all these vampires and get out of here." I don't know why I'm doing that voice.
See, Christian Bale did.
That's what it was. I was doing Christian Bale. He has in the cartoon. He has a motorbike, and the motorbike can deploy spikes in its wheels so it can drive up walls.
Perfect.
Which is obviously necessary when you're dealing with a Spider-Man cartoon.
Obviously.
Because every confrontation he has is with Spider-Man, who's swinging around on rooftops, and Michael
Needs
Morbius, who can fly. So
Pretty tough.
They have to come up with a reason for Blade to be on the roof of a building on a motorbike in every scene. And quite honestly, Ben, it's ridiculous.
It's a great bit of divergent thinking there. Well, we could just put spikes on the wheels.
Put spikes on the wheels of the motorbike. Whoop, up he
It's
goes.
easy, there we go.
He's got a grappling hook or
No
something.
problem.
Yeah, look, I don't know how Marshall Ali will play it. I don't really know what they're going to do with it because Blade has always, in my opinion, Ben, and probably your opinion, he's been a little bit aside from the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, again, this is the problem with vampires in general. Once you open up your world
I'll
to
tell you what the
vampires-
problem with vampires is. They're coming up in your house, snatching up your people.
Yeah.
That's the real
So
problem.
hide your kids, hide your wives, because they're sucking everybody.
Yeah, everybody's blood.
But one of the interesting things is when you open vampires up to your world, then there's a whole hidden sub-layer of vampires in your story.
Exactly.
And it gets very messy. It's too big a world to ignore, because if they're as rampant as Blade needs them to be...
Bloody underground club full of sexy vampires.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the implication of those three movies, because they are everywhere.
Vampires are everywhere.
They run blood banks, they
run the
run
police.
they run the police. Hefty implications for S.H.I.E.L.D. or something like that, if you're looking at it from that point of view.
If vampires existed in the real world, Ben, they would have got you by now.
Yeah, we'd all be dead.
I'd be alright.
You're a bit tougher than me, that's true.
No, I'm not very... I don't think vampires would find me attractive.
I don't think vampires would find me attractive.
Oh,
I'm just
they would.
easily led.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they'd like. about you.
That's what I like about me.
You'd become one of their ghouls.
Yeah.
You're like, yes, master, I'll eat these bugs for you.
Yeah, I'll be a is it Renfield? It's
Yeah.
Renfield from Dracula.
You'd be a Renfield.
I'd be a Renfield. I'd rock a Renfield. Yeah, sadly. But generally speaking, I think Marshall Ali is going to bring a very different presence. I don't think we're going to see a big Wesley Snipes style Blade. I just don't see him playing it that way.
He makes a thing. He makes an exploding thing. Whistler makes an exploding thing, and he hands it to Wesley Snipes to Blade. And Wesley Snipes says, "It's still heavy." And then Whistler says, "But you're so big."
Yeah,
it's brilliant. It's a great film, and he's not that big. Wesley Snipes isn't very big at all.
He looks very big in the movie, though. They've done a lot of effort.
They stand him around short people.
Yeah, well, it's a classic Tom Cruise box.
Yeah. But Ben, we talked about this a few weeks ago. I don't know if you remember.
I do.
Perhaps the snap is the key to
Yes,
solving your problem.
you had a rather novel way to get around it.
That vampires, Ben, are not living. So when half of all living things were wiped out, no vampires were wiped out.
Yeah.
So they had a very meager population. Let's say there's 3 or 4 vampires per city. You know, that could
feasibly,
they could.
It's a very
sneak
exclusive
by.
club.
Yeah. But then, after the snap, it was 3 or 4 vampires per city, but the world is in chaos. So
And it's a lot easier to be snaking around.
exactly. And then you could introduce... They were always there. Blade was keeping their numbers low, off the books. Now there are more and they're a bigger problem. But you're right, though. I mean, even then, even going forward...
It's the trick of turning people into vampires. That's what it is. What are your rules for vampirism? Are you bitten and then infected?
Yeah.
Is there a ritual that you have to do where you exchange fluids?
Ooh.
Or, you know, the more complicated the transition from human to vampire, the safer your story can be.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have to get someone to vouch for you or sponsor you or whatever in that sense, then you can have it. But I doubt that's probably how it works. Because if they're going with classic origin Blade, then it's he is an STD.
Yeah, although, Ben, you are saying that, but remember, Ben, you will remember that half of S.H.I.E.L.D. turned out to be Nazis.
And nobody noticed.
Nobody noticed. So, you know, they're not the most vigilant.
Yeah. You'd think they'd be screening, though.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got an unusual... that's an unusual infection you have in your blood there.
Complete this sentence for me, please. Hail. I can't think of anything that's not bad to finish that sentence.
Yeah, no, you just don't want to say hail. You just want to be rocking around with it. Speaking of, Michael.
Yes?
We're going to end it there.
Oh, you son of a bitch. What did we talk about? What did we talk about earlier? I said, Ben, I watched an episode of the Blade TV series starring Sticky Fingers. And you said, well, we don't want to talk about that, do we? And I said, yes, we do want to talk about it because I watched the bloody thing.
Bloody Blade series.
It's no good.
Mick made himself sit through the Blade TV series with Sticky Fingers.
Sticky Fingers. We're
not having a stroke, ladies and gentlemen. That is the gentleman's name who is in that show.
That's not his real name.
Sticky Fingers.
I think his real name's Eric.
What's it like?
It's actually not horrific, believe it or not. It's kind of, it's pretty much all right. I thought there was a continuity issue in that we actually see his childhood and him being raised by his father in it.
Oh.
But, Ben, I went back and watched Blade the movie. And in Blade the movie, Whistler says he found him on the streets when he was 13. Living homeless, eating homeless people. Oh. And his father stayed with him in the series until about that age. So it actually...
nice. It all lines up nice.
Some of it lines up, some of it doesn't.
Yeah.
Classic TV.
Is it supposed to be a prequel to the...
I don't know. Is it?
Is it?
I suppose.
Well.
Kind of. Well. Yeah, but I mean, the first MCU TV series... Not really, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
The first kind of film to TV.
To be swept under the rug yet again.
Yeah, we'll sweep it under the rug, get Mahershala Ali in.
Oh, yeah.
Cottonmouth in, see what he...
Looking forward to it, though. Glad to see him get a bit of justice for that bloody terrible death that he had in the TV series.
Look, Ben, we're still talking about it. We're still talking about it. We're still talking about it.
We're all going to talk about Mahershala Ali. He's amazing. I think you'll probably see a lot more of the Moonlight Mahershala Ali, like the tough kind of gangster Mahershala Ali.
In Moon Knight?
No, in Blade.
Be good in Moon Knight, wouldn't he, though?
He would.
Creatures
he'd be good. I think you could probably put Mahershala Ali in a lot of different positions and he'd be...
One of the things that Disney seem to be really leaning towards on this week's Marvel Fancast is that they're really going to cross over these characters as much as we always hoped they would.
Oh, I think that's exactly what's happening with the TV series. It's just going to be like, oh, look who it is.
Look who it is. It's one of the cheap ones. It's not bloody Spider-Man.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, have you watched Sticky Fingers in the Blade TV series? If so, don't tell us about it. It's not a great show.
It's great. It's all right.
If you want to get in touch with us, if you want to give us some feedback on the episode, if you'd like to see anything covered on the topic, or if you understand Blade's origin a little better than we do, and you can unmuddy it for us, we'd be very happy to hear from you. You can get in touch with us on seanrabug.com. If you're watching us on YouTube, leave us a comment down below. We are also on Instagram if you feel like getting in touch. Sean Rabug, by the way, because I forgot to spell it, is SEOMRABEAG.
It means tiny room in Irish.
It means tiny room in Irish. So get in touch with us there. As always, if you could leave us a review on Apple Podcasts,
what's wrong with you?
That would be great. Because every little bit helps, gives us an L boost, and it knocks up our ratings, and we can spread ourselves around a little bit more.
And don't forget, you can say, hey Google, play the latest episode of Michael and Benjamin's podcast, and it will automatically play the latest episode of Michael and Benjamin's podcast for you on Google Podcasts.
If you're listening now, that's not really relevant because you've just listened to the latest episode, but
you don't need a bloody app or anything. That's the joy of it.
Just does it for you.
Yeah, your phone will just do it.
Just does it for you. Google, our soon-to-be overlords.
Right,
lads, that's it this week. Bye.
Oh, we're done. All right. Disney Google merger 2020. What? You heard it here first.